How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massive Beer Reviews back with fucking cream ale, son, in the form of Elementary's Spotted Dog. Yeah, this comes courtesy of my boy Keith. He popped over to Elementary and Hackensack Brewing not too long ago. Picked up a couple Two Tree beers. He knows I'm a big cream ale fan, so he picked this up for me. I don't know if I've ever seen this in a store. I know pretty much all of Elementary stuff's hit like bottle shops and market. I don't remember seeing this. If I did, I just kind of glossed over it. But it's their cream ale, and it comes in at a whopping 4.5% alcohol by volume. Yeah. Let's see. I'm just curious to see if they actually... I know some people that lager cream ales. Well, you can't lager now, so... But I know people that actually have kind of done a cream ale, lagered version of a cream ale. I don't know if they actually called it a cream ale then, because it wouldn't make sense, because it'd be an ale. So, it's an ale. It's not a lager. Anyway, carbonation. Yeah, that's not it's not the best kind of carbonation you got going on here. It's a little bit, no, I guess you would say that's the right coloration. Maybe a little bit darker. A little bit darker than what I expect. Soft carbonation left behind, but that head dissipated really quickly. Really just looks like kind of like straight apple juice, like Welch's apple juice at this point. So, not too fun ski on the old head retention. Let's get a nose. I mean, she smells like a cream ale. Soft little kind of like Pilsner, kind of little bit of extra kind of maltiness somewhere above that mixture of Pilsner malt and like two row, something like that, somewhere in between there. And that's pretty much it. And you can actually kind of get the vibe of a lack of carbonation here because it smells almost still. Like when you smell a beer, it's not like necessarily you're smelling bubbles, but you get this kind of sense of that carbonation kind of popping off. And it kind of opens up the nose a little bit. And if you ever smell like it's completely carbonation missing kind of beer, I believe you can kind of sense that in the nose, and you're definitely getting that here. So you're definitely going to deal with carbonation issues on this one. Soft Pilsner malt, a little bit of an extra bigger malt, like I said, 2-row, something like that, Golden Promise. Trying to think of anything else. That's pretty much it. Soft little bittering, nothing too crazy. Just dive right in. Cheers. And it's a cream ale, but that carbonation is just not there. And that really does kind of kick it into a heavier, denser beer. It kind of removes that lightness, that crispness. Now, cream ale's never been the most crispiest of boys, but they're a lighter beer. But they have a little bit more malt to them. The mouth feels creamy more than crisp, but there's this lightness to it. With the lack of carbonation here, what you're getting is more kind of like a Kolsch level kind of mouthfeel and density to it. But even then, you're kind of getting this lack of carbonation that kind of just, it's a very big portion of beer. I don't think many people understand how much carbonation matters when it comes to a beer. And some beers can kind of get away with it. You know, you're talking your big, huge imperial stouts, barley wine, stuff like that. Bigger beers can kind of get away with it a little bit, kind of slide by. So can some sour beers. These lighter beers, you know, if they're really even just off on carbonation, they can be a little bit less than what you'd expect from them. But when they're lacking carbonation quite a bit, it really kind of turns into a different beer, almost like a chilled down version of wort to a certain extent, as opposed to an actual kind of finished beer. So it's not negative. There's nothing as far as negative off flavors. There's a nice graininess to it. Comes off a little bit cereal grain-like, or not even cereal, like oatmeal grain-like, or even more kind of like a stewed, kind of steep kind of grain kind of thing, like a mash kind of graininess in a fun way. There's ever so slightest bit of bittering. Malt comes out nice. It just really does lack that pop that you need from that carbonation really to bring the beer home. So there you go. Let's talk about it. It's one of the better cream ales I've had as of late. No, it's just that carbonation. Everything else is there, but since it's so lacking in carbonation, it just can't get there. So it is what it is. Value and availability. I mean, their stuff is typically pretty cheap. We're talking about something like this. I would assume to come in a 6-pack of 12-ounce cans for give or take around $11 a sixer. I have no problem with that, but needs to be carbonated and leave you with, if you like what way you like this, if you like non-carbonated beer. I mean, listen, could be carbonation issues, could be how they did this batch, could be a bunch of different things. If this had proper Wrong pipe for a sec. If this had proper carbonation, man, this is a shitty review. If this had proper carbonation, it'd probably be one of my more favorite cream ales I've had as of late. But since that's such a big component of a beer like this, and it's so completely lacking, that's what makes this beer just kind of meh. So I'm gonna buy this beer again, and I'm gonna review it again, and hopefully it's carbonated, and we'll find out what's what when that happens. So there you go. Let's read off the batch number so I can actually go back to this. This is it says Rescue Dogs Rock, and it says June 13th is when this is canned. So I'll make sure I find a different canning date, canning number, and actually give that one a proper review. So there you go. A little cream ale in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers, if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive, want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. I've interviewed the fine gentleman from Alementary before. You can go listen to us talk, sit down, chit chat. Keith is in that one too, so extra bonus. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a little cream ale right now, and hopefully see you next time. Cheers.